There are 4 types of buyers that you're going to sell to. First, you've got the fighters. Bottom line thinkers, they're decisive, assertive, and they want one thing: results. If you're not selling outcomes fast, they've already moved on. Then there are the counselors. If they don't feel safe with you, they won't buy from you, even if your product is perfect. Next are the detectives. Analytical, skeptical, detail-driven. They need the why, the how, and the data behind it all. If you wing it with a detective, you're done. And finally, we have the entertainers. These are your energetic, spontaneous, fun-driven buyers. The pitch better be engaging. If it feels like a spreadsheet, you'll lose them. Every buying decision is emotional, but each personality type is wired to trust, decide, and act differently. Understanding these 4 behavior styles has helped change the way that I sell. It's allowed me to close deals faster, connect deeper, and build trust, even from people that seemed completely different than me at first. And if you're in sales, whether you're closing multi-million-dollar deals or you're running your own business, this framework will help you speak the exact language your buyer wants to hear. So here's what we're going to learn in this video. Number 1, what type of seller you are. Number 2, we're going to talk about the blind spots each buyer style has. Number 3, how to close each buyer based on their style. Now, if you skip this, you'll keep wondering why some buyers ghost you after what you think are great conversations, or why some just seem impossible to move forward with, or just those types that you're like, what is wrong with this person? But when you know what drives someone and what their buyer fears are and how to speak their language, everything gets easier. And it all starts with one thing: understanding your buyer and seller style first. So let's figure out what your selling style is. I didn't learn this from some personality test online or a psychology book. I learned it from Navigate 2.0. The proven framework we use at Southwestern Consulting to help sales professionals decode buying behavior and sell with trust, speed, and clarity. Because whether you realize it or not, you're actually automatically falling into one of these categories. Here are the 3 questions that can help you figure it out. Number 1, are you introverted or extroverted? Extroverts tend to lean entertainer or fighter. Introverts tend to lean counselor or detective. Number 2, are you more emotional or logical when it comes to making decisions? Emotional sellers tend to connect deeply, like counselors and entertainers, and logical sellers tend to stay focused and fact-driven, which are fighters and detectives. And lastly, number 3 is, do you tend to speak more slowly and deliberately or fast and to the point? Fast talkers usually show up as fighters or entertainers. Deliberate communicators usually lean counselor or detective. Once you've answered these 3, you should have a pretty good idea of your dominant style, and recognize too, you're going to show up a couple different ways from your personal style versus how you interact at work when you're selling. And here's why this matters. If you're a fighter, you might push too hard on a counselor. If you're a detective, you might bury an entertainer in details. If you're an entertainer, you might lose credibility with a skeptical buyer. And if you're a counselor, you might avoid necessary tension that helps the deal move forward. Self-awareness isn't just a leadership skill, it's a sales superpower. The Navigate framework breaks down into 4 primary buyer behaviors. And while everyone is a blend, like I said, each of us defaults to one main style. Let's walk through each one of the styles in action. And as we do, I want you to be asking yourself, who am I? Which one are my clients and my prospects? And where do I tend to lose connection? So let's start with the fighter. They're bold, driven, and they want one thing: results. If you show up slow and soft or vague, you lose them. They respect confidence, clarity, and efficiency. You don't need to be pushy, but you do need to be direct. Don't waste time. Don't over-explain. Get to the outcome fast. Next is the entertainer. That's actually what I am. I'm kind of a blend between an entertainer and fighter. This person buys based on energy and connection. They love big ideas, fast pace, enthusiasm. If your call feels like a checklist, you've already lost them. Bring the energy, use stories, let your personality shine. Honestly, it's interesting. Our test will actually break down how you show up when you're buying and when you're selling. So for me, I tend to naturally gravitate towards being an entertainer when I'm selling. I like going off script and tangents and fun conversations and connections and their favorite sports teams when people are into that. But whenever I'm buying, man, I'm a bulldog. For whatever reason, my brain goes into fighter and I'm just, what's in it for me? What does this look like? Next is the counselor. They're steady, they're thoughtful, relationship first. They're not going to buy unless they trust you and deeply. Your biggest tool is patience. Ask them questions, get buy-in about their team, slow your pace. Don't pressure them. Trust is the sale. And finally, we have the detective. This buyer is all logic. They want the details, the proof, the process. If you're just vibing, they're already done. Know your numbers, be prepared, have a structure. If you don't know something, say, let me confirm and get back to you. That builds trust. So we recognize that this is where most salespeople get stuck. They pitch the way that they like to buy, not the way the client actually makes decisions. You're a fighter, you lead with speed, power, and results. But if you're selling to a counselor, you just steamrolled them and they're not able to build trust over time. You're an entertainer, you lead with vision, energy, and excitement. But if you're selling to a detective, they're thinking, where's the data? You're a counselor. You build relationships slowly. But if you're selling to a fighter, the whole time they're thinking, what's taking so long? You're a detective. You have just built the perfect proposal. But if you're selling to an entertainer, they're already bored. We all default to our own selling style, and it works. Only when you're selling to somebody like you. Everyone else, they disconnect, they ghost, they hesitate. Not because they're not ready to buy, but because you didn't speak their language. It's not just knowing your own style. It's selling the way that people want to buy without losing yourself in the moment. And I think that's clear here is I don't want you to become someone different. I just want you to speak their language. Because when you can flex and stay authentic, you stop pushing products and start building real trust. Hey, and if you notice on this diagram, there's a star and there's a dot. That's because this is someone's actual assessment that we were able to pull. The star is actually how they show up in their selling style. And this dot here is actually how they show up personally. If you're interested in checking out this assessment for yourself, check out the link in the description. So as I've touched on, salespeople typically just know how to sell to their own people. But if you want to connect faster, build trust sooner, and close more deals, you've got to learn how to speak all 4 languages. And that's not just about behavior, that's about psychology. Each buyer type has its own core fear. Fighters, they fear losing control. We build trust by being confident, giving them choices, and being direct. Counselors, they fear letting people down. Build trust by showing support, using relationship first language, and moving at their pace. Detectives, they fear being wrong. Build trust by showing data, walk through things with logic, and being fully transparent. Entertainers, they fear disconnection and boredom. Build trust by matching energy, sharing stories, and keeping that momentum going. Closing each type also looks a little different. Fighters, close with confidence and give them a choice of 2 positives. Would you rather have this or would you rather have this? Counselors, close with reassurance and warmth. Detectives, close with structure and follow-up detail. Entertainers, close with excitement and next step momentum. So here's your next move. If you want to start using this in your sales conversations today, you can download our Navigate cheat sheet. It breaks down the 4 buyer styles, how to spot them, how to sell to each one, all on one page. It even breaks down if you're sitting down with someone in their office, what do you look at? How can you tell based on how their office is set up? What style are they? Click the link in the description and I'll send it to you. Because the best sellers, they're not just persuasive, they're also adaptive. Want more? Click the next video right here. Let's go.